Mystery Mike. Thank you all for tuning in today. I have a very special story from a subscriber. His YouTube channel is the Maryland Outdoorsman. His childhood dream was to catch a sturgeon. He's 14 years old and he's from Maryland. He thought that he was going to be waiting a very long time to catch a sturgeon, till one day his grandmother was booking a trip to British Columbia, and he figured, well, this is my opportunity. So him and his grandmother flew up to Canada, and then they went to Mission, British Columbia, and stayed there to go fishing on the Fraser River for sturgeon. Man, what a trip. This young man really does have a nice grandmother. So they met up with their guide to go ahead and get bait for the sturgeon fishing trip, and they used minnows and salmon pieces to gather their bait up. So they were out on the Fraser River on the first day, and it was getting very hot, and they were there for quite some time, and the freight liners running back and forth was disturbing their fishing so much to where the guide actually yelled at them, and they were starting to run out of bait. But before they knew it, they got a bite, and he grabbed his fishing rod and started to reel it in. It took about 15 minutes to reel in, and the key to catching these and keeping them on is to keep your line tight, because they'll jump out of the water, and when they jump out, they'll shake that hook right out. So he was able to reel it in, and he caught a nice trophy, which was about 5 foot long. I'm going to say that's more than a nice trophy. That's a wonderful trophy. So they released that one, and then they called it a day, and they head back in to get ready for the next day. Or they head back in to get ready for the next morning. So the next day, out on the Fraser River, they were there for quite some time, and they were there so long they all started to get even like a little seasick, and they were getting a little frustrated because they were wanting to catch these big fish that the guide was telling them about. Well, before they knew it, they got a nice bite, and his grandmother grabbed the fishing rod and started to reel it in, and it jumped out. It jumped up and out of the water, and it was a huge fish, and he thrashed his head around, and they lost it, and it really was a nice huge fish, but unfortunately he thrashed his head around and shook the hook out, and they got discouraged. But how neat to have your grandmother with you fishing to catch a fish like that. This is just an incredible story. So after that incident where the fish shook his head like that and lost the hook, it was starting to get a little late, but the guide stayed out past his fishing hours, which they were happy about, and he said, well, let me pull up anchor and I'll try one more spot by the boat ramp. He said it's not usually good, but sometimes it can be. So they did just that. And after he dropped anchor, he threw his line on over with a salmon head. So after he dropped his line on over, he looked over at his grandmom and said to his grandmother, let's switch hats. You have my lucky visor on, just for a joke. So they did just that. Well, 5 minutes after they switched hats, he hooked into a big one. So his grandmother picked the rod up, and not much after she picked the rod up and started reeling in, she realized that she needed help. So he took the rod on over, and he started reeling in. The guide picked the anchor up to go ahead and follow this huge fish, as it was also towing them downriver. Actually towed them downriver 1.5 miles. Now you know, if a fish is towing you downriver 1.5 miles, this is a huge fish. So every time he would reel it in and gather up some line, the fish would jump out of the water and take a dive, and he would lose all what he just reeled back in. So this went on for an hour, and eventually, after a huge fish for an hour is a very big deal. They have caught a huge sturgeon, just what they went for. How neat is that? And to share this all with your grandmother. This is a very, very hard fishing story to top. And this is something that he'll remember the rest of his life. So after they got it up and shore there, they jumped out of the boat to take pictures with it. I'll insert the pictures here so you can see this huge sturgeon. Get a load of this. That they estimate 350 pounds to 400 pounds with a 46-inch girth at 9 foot long. Man, this is like a monster, a dinosaur of a fish. Well, what can I say? This is amazing, and I want to congratulate your grandmother, and I want to congratulate you on such a trophy and a fishing dream to come true, and something that years to come that you can sit down with your kids and tell this story. That is special. So once again, congratulations to the both of you, and thank you for giving me the honor to tell your story. Just remember, be someone important, be yourself. Until next time, God bless. See ya.